Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds. Lawrence?
All right, so
we're moving on to
moving
movies.
on to the meat and potatoes of topics. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen it. If not, this is going to be very spoil heavy.
Yeah, we're talking about the whole kit and caboodle.
Yep.
So, if you don't want to be spoiled, now is probably the time to opt out of this part of the episode.
Yep.
Come back.
Go watch
see
it.
the movie and come back because we got a lot to talk about.
Yep. Okay.
So it's X-Men Apocalypse. Let's just right out of the gate, Luca. What did out of 10? What would you give it? I want to do this right out of the gate.
Out of 10?
Yeah.
6.
Yep, that's where I'm going. I was gonna say, I always give it a range because it's hard for me to pinpoint exactly.
Actually, you know what? 5.5.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. It's like a 5.5 to 6.
Thinking about it.
It's like a 5.5 to 6. Out of.
I looked at your television and then it just reminded me of something that happened in the movie, and that's why
I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay, so for me, I would say out of the entire this trilogy of X-Men movies, First Class, Days of Future Past, and Apocalypse, this is probably the worst one. That's not to say that it's a terrible movie, but it's middle of the road. I would put, it's Days of Future Past at the top.
Okay.
First Class, X-Men Apocalypse.
You're talking about the new trilogy, not all of them combined.
Not
right?
all of them.
Yeah.
Out of all of them combined,
Yeah.
I would say it's definitely above Origins, Wolverine, and X-Men 3, but it's still I guess getting closer to the bottom.
I don't even count X-Men Origins, man. I took a picture of my whole Blu-ray collection because I wanted to watch some of them before.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And then somebody commented, "No X-Men Origins," as a joke, and I was just like, "What is that?"
What's that? I've never heard of that.
I've never seen that movie.
You know what's funny? I actually
what a piece of shit.
Oh my god, dude! I swear to God, I saw X-Men Origins twice.
In the
same night.
Oh!
In the same night, because I went to see it with a few friends at Union Theater, and then my other friend was like, "Oh, me and my sister are going to see X-Men Origins at Jersey Gardens." And I was like, "Fuck it, I'll go."
You're
an idiot. I know. Part of why I wanted to go was because it had multiple after credit scenes, and depending on which theater you went to, you'd see different ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was the driving force.
I walked out of that movie theater. I never forget. I went to go see it at Mountainside, and I went to go see it with my brother. And my brother and I are huge Wolverine fans. I know it's typical. Oh, I love Wolverine, but I like Wolverine. Yeah. What am I gonna do?
There's nothing wrong with that.
So we walk out, and we were just like, "That ain't right."
Nah. You done fucked up now.
Yeah. But anyways, we're not talking about X-Men Origins. Let's continue with Apocalypse.
Right.
Apocalypse is not as bad as Origins. Let's get that straight out.
It's nowhere near as bad as Origins. It's definitely a cut above X3.
Last Stand?
Yeah, The Last Stand.
I put it maybe 5 inches above Last Stand.
Yeah. And, okay, do we want to cover, the good and the bad, or do we just want to jump into it?
Let's... Yep. Alright, so we should cover the good first.
Okay, because there is... Like I said, it's not a bad movie.
Right.
It's not a good... It's a good movie. It's a decent movie. Middle of the road.
Yeah.
So, here's a really big... good... a really big positive for me. The acting.
Mm-hmm.
The acting was really good. Everybody turned in stellar performances.
Stellar.
James McAvoy is great as always. Michael Fassbender was amazing. I'd say that this was probably his best performance as Magneto. What do you think? Because there were a lot of really good performances.
The acting was great. I love the young cast.
Yeah, the young cast really brought it this time
Yep.
around. You know, I was a little worried because of, I mean, like, I know Sophie Turner's a really good actress because of Game of Thrones, but, like, I don't know anything about Ty Sheridan, I think it is, that plays Cyclops.
He was in Mud.
Holy shit, wait, that was him?
I think that was him.
The one with Matthew McConaughey, right? Yeah, look that up real quick.
Yeah, he
please.
was in Mud.
Oh my god, that was him.
Yep.
Yeah, the kid, he's really good.
He was in Mud. He was also in Joe with Nicolas Cage. That's
I
another
didn't
good
see
movie.
that one. I didn't see that one. I wanted to,
And
but I didn't get around to it.
He was in the ever-popular Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse.
That's why I recognized him. Like, initially, that's kind of why I was worried.
Yeah, it wasn't a good movie.
And, what's her name? And my girlfriend will kill me if I don't say this. Alexandra Shipp, I think is her name. The girl who played Storm. Just so you know,
She was hot.
she wasn't bad.
And she was hot, too.
I mean, a lot of people were really... I can't say anything. A lot of people were really worried because she was in that Aaliyah movie, which wasn't good. Alexandra Shipp, I'm pretty sure that's her name, is Storm. And she gave a pretty decent performance with what she was given, which was not
Everybody
a lot.
did. Everybody did.
I can't
Oscar
say
Isaac did, too.
I can't say everybody gave, like, a great performance, but everybody put in, you know, they showed effort, which is nice. Because a lot of the roles were kind of shoehorned in.
Right.
And like I said, you know, these actors did the best with what they were given, which not everybody had a really, like, not everyone had an equal time to shine, in my opinion.
Okay, yeah. You thought it was a little too cluttered.
A bit.
Okay.
But I have to say that it was nice to see Storm in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a huge fan of the Mohawk. I never really liked that look, even in the comics. But she had an accent, which is great because they don't do that.
What kind of accent? Like a Ken?
It's like a African. I don't know.
African accent, Kenyan.
Yeah. So she did a really good job with that. I think it's fine. It's fine. So, what else do you think was pretty good? Because like.
The whole Magneto performance was really good.
Yeah, dude.
That was some interesting
Michael
stuff.
Fassbender and Magneto were, like, the emotional center of this movie.
Yeah.
Like,
they were.
That scene with his daughter.
And not Scarlet Witch.
Yeah. I think his daughter's name in the comics, like, not, you know, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, but, like, one of his other, like, families that he had over the years or whatever. I think his daughter's name was Anya in the comics, but they changed it to Nina. I guess, you know, it's easier to say. It sounds more natural. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like when she gets hit with the arrow, it took me a while to catch on. I'm like, oh shit, it went through her and hit his wife too. Mm-hmm. Fuck.
I'm sorry.
That whole scene was like, that really kind of tugged at the heartstrings a bit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When they got hit, I screamed double points. But yeah,
double kill.
It was sad. Yeah, double kill. But but yeah, it was a very sad scene, honestly. And then he took the metal necklace and just like right through their neck.
Through everybody, just took them right the fuck out.
It almost,
but I would say the Quicksilver scene, although it's a little disjointed from the rest of the movie, was still fun. I had a lot of fun watching that scene.
It was, but the school was blowing up.
Yeah.
Tonally, it didn't really...
Yeah, but we'll touch on that when we get to the bad. But, like, I had a good time with the Quicksilver scene.
Yeah. The Wolverine scene was really awesome,
dude,
even though it had nothing to do with the movie.
Dude, okay, so you know why I really enjoyed that scene? It was because I had... And I think I told you about this before, but I actually, when I was a little kid, I had, like, the Wolverine, like, the Weapon X Wolverine toy. And then I saw that on the screen, and I was immediately a 5-year-old again. I'm like, I have that toy! I have that one! I have it at home! I play with it all the time! Like, I wish I still had that now. I wish I took better care of my toys from when I was a kid, because that was fucking awesome to see. You know,
it was great.
It was an awesome scene. It just it
and it was
hit all the notes that I needed to see for Wolverine in
and
this movie.
It was on par with the X-Men 2 fight scene.
Yeah, with the
mansion.
Mm-hmm. And the
except
mansion
they added blood.
Yeah. We said it last week that it was like it would be nice to see like blood coming out and like on his claws. They did it. They finally did it.
This is actually one of the most violent X-Men movies I've seen.
Yeah. Definitely. Like bodies are being dropped left and right, and there's like excruciating detail to a lot of it. Yeah. Like that dude in the beginning where he's just like
where he cracked
he just like folds the dude.
Yeah. When they were worshipping Emotep.
Dude, tell me that in that scene when he's first coming in, he doesn't look like what's his name? Apocalypse doesn't look like one of those like aliens from the Fifth Element just shuffling in. Tell me they didn't look like that a bit.
You know what? You know what I kept thinking to myself? I just kept saying, this is probably what the Rolling Stones do.
In what regard?
When they switch consciousness to like another human body. That's
how they've been around.
That's how they've been around.
That's great.
Just imagine like under Madison Square Garden, there's a cult.
There's like a whole like little subsection of like.
Yeah, right.
Speaking of underground, you just reminded me. It was interesting that they kind of set up the Morlocks, and that was kind of cool. I mean, like it was a little weird seeing Caliban because like he wasn't really Caliban.
No, he wasn't.
Like his character, I don't know. It was just interesting to see that like they went for another X-Men storyline that could possibly be set up somewhere down the line. I don't think they'll really go for it, but like, hey, they got mentioned. And that's kind of bringing us to the bad of this movie, which I have to say, there's a lot of it, but the biggest gripe for me is this movie was way too meta. Way too self-aware. Like, when they go to the mall and they come out of episode 3 and they're like, the third one's always the worst anyway. It's like, I get it, because Last Stand wasn't good. And by extension, you're saying that if this movie's bad, well, we made fun of it first. Like, there was just so much, like, it was, I half expected the cast to just, like, turn to the camera and be like, wink. Like, there was just too much self-referential
It would have been
humor.
funny if, like, when I hated this part, by the way. When Beast looked at Mystique and was like, "You're not." She's like, "Oh, blue," and then Nightcrawler kind of went in front of the camera. I'm blue. like,
I'm not gonna lie. When he came out and did that, all I heard in my head is, "I'm blue, da ba dee da ba da."
When I heard that, it was kind of like the filmmakers are going, "Yeah, but he's blue, right?
You know right, guys? He's blue, and they're blue, and it's funny, right, guys? We get it. They're blue."
Look, I like Jennifer Lawrence as an actress. But I think she's
for fuck's sake, I'm hoping that this is her last X-Men movie, right? I hope so,
man,
because they basically turned her into the Wolverine of this, like...
She's no Wolverine.
I know, but I'm saying they turned her into the Wolverine of this franchise because she was front and center. She's the focus of all 3 movies. Like, if not for her, all of this shit, like, the stories are told around her.
Well, the issue with these X-Men movies is that Cyclops has never played an important role.
And he's the fucking leader of the X-Men.
He is. When Wolverine was an X-Men Last Stand, and they made him the leader...
Yeah, that kind of made me a little mad.
That made me upset because Wolverine wouldn't be a leader. Wolverine would be like, and just walk away.
Exactly.
That's what he does.
He's like, like, I'll help you guys out, but, like, I got my own shit going on. Like, Wolverine's fucking selfish.
Yeah, he is.
Wolverine's selfish as shit.
He is.
And him and Cyclops are, like, polar opposites. And, like, yeah, they play off that a lot for humor, but, like, no, let them have, like, their fundamental differences on how they would accomplish a task.
Yep.
Show that on the screen.
Yep.
Because that is where the conflict and the heart of the X-Men stories come from. Yep. It's these people with differing ideals and opinions all coming together to accomplish a common goal.
Right. I wish that they treated these X-Men movies like the first Avenger movie.
Yeah. That would
Everybody gets their own shine. I mean... everybody gets their own shining moment. You root for everybody, but it's kind of like it's getting to the point where they just take 5 new X-Men that nobody's ever seen before on the screen. It's
or
like, hey,
in this case, a couple X-Men that no one's ever seen before, and then revamp a whole bunch of old ones.
oh my god.
They missed such a huge opportunity with Angel by just literally killing him the fuck off.
He's one of the founders.
Yeah, he's one of the original X-Men, and he was just a villain in this movie, which he's been a villain in the comics before. Like, yes, Archangel was one of the Horsemen of Apocalypse, but like it was a whole redemption story. Like he lost his wings. They're like, oh, I didn't know that there was something. He got his one wing burned, and he's like, I suck now. I'm gonna drink away my problems, which was actually kind of like a compelling scene, because I thought he gave a pretty good performance in that scene. It was nice, but like there was no meat.
Archangel though.
Yeah, that was cool. But like there was no meat behind it. There was no substance really. It was just like he's here just because Archangel is one of like the better known horsemen, so we have to have him.
The only thing that I really liked about that scene, honestly, was the visuals of him getting the wings, and the fact that, I don't know if this is meta or not, but Metallica's Four Horsemen was playing in the background.
Cool.
That was cool.
I
actually
that.
like that. And he
like
was
it's subtle stuff like that is fine,
yeah.
But like when they literally like what is it? Like I said with the episode 3 reference, or episode 6 reference, like that, it's stuff like that. It's so ham-fisted, and it makes me fucking furious that they're resorting to this. Like, X-Men is such an amazing franchise.
It has a lot of rich characters.
Exactly. There's so many stories to tell, and I feel like they're doing themselves a disservice by just literally throwing as many characters as they can at the screen, but not like doing anything with them. Like, where the fuck was Jubilee in this movie? I don't even like Jubilee, and I'm mad that they just completely...
She was an advertisement. She was
she was in all of the marketing for this movie.
Apparently there are scenes that there's deleted scenes that she's in. Are they gonna do like a Jubilee cut like they did the road cut?
There was so much that could have been done with this movie, and I feel like there was a lot of wasted opportunity. Like, and that's not to say that the movie was bad. I was entertained.
Me too.
I was definitely entertained, but again, because I have such a hard time turning off the critical side of my brain, it's like I could see, again, like the decisions being made behind the scenes.
You know what's funny? We haven't even touched Apocalypse yet.
Oh shit, we haven't. We've been talking about X-Men Apocalypse this whole time and haven't talked about Apocalypse.
I did not like Apocalypse in this movie. I thought Oscar Isaac is great. I thought what he had to work
menacing, but somehow still underwhelming.
Well, not,
like, he gave a good performance, but like
he was short.
I was gonna say Jeremy Johns mentioned this. I'm not one of those
people. Yeah, I'm not one of those people to mention the height.
Yeah, I don't
of
care.
A person,
but Jeremy Johns mentioned this, so like, if you've seen it, you know where I'm going with this. That scene where they show him standing with all of his horsemen. He's literally the smallest one out of all of them, and 2 of them are children. Like, that's sad. Because Apocalypse is supposed to be like this towering, like, intimidating figure, and I'm supposed to be terrified of him. His name is fucking Apocalypse. That's Endgame. That is the cataclysm, the end of all, end all be all. And I'm supposed to be terrified of this person because he's supposed to be the end of the fucking world. And at no point did I feel like, oh, well, they don't stand a chance. Like, the whole time I was just like, well, obviously they're gonna beat him because this isn't the last movie.
There was no situation I had too.
There were no stakes in this movie.
They Idris Alba'd him. They canceled the Apocalypse.
Today we are canceling the Apocalypse.
And they did.
Yeah,
They canceled it.
They straight up disintegrated him,
Yeah,
which was kind of cool. But again, with the ham-fisted references, gee, I wonder where they're going with the next movie. You think it's going to be the Dark Phoenix?
No, it's gonna be Mr. Sinister.
You know what? You're probably right, because it took me... when I saw the end credits scene, I actually had to look that up.
Yeah,
Like,
I knew. I saw the briefcase and it said
Essex Corp.
Essex Corp. I went, Mr. Sinister, cool.
See, I saw that, I'm like, I feel like I should know what this is, but I don't. And then when I got home, I was like, Essex Corp? Oh, Sinister. Okay, got it. Like, they're... I don't know.
A lot of things made me upset in this movie. I mean, I hold X-Men to a bit of a higher standard when it comes to comic book movies, because we had a great one, X-Men Days of Future Past.
Yeah, and...
It's not like Ninja Turtles where I'm going in and I'm just like, okay, it's gonna be goofy. I'm not really. I have a certain expectation for this, and I have a certain expectation for that. The reason why I'm so hard on this movie is because Days of Future Past was a good movie.
Yeah,
it was a good movie, and I just think that they kind of dropped the ball on some parts. My issue is the young. Not saying Apocalypse isn't an interesting character, but the young X-Men cast was the most interesting part of the movie, and they were barely in it.
Exactly. Like that's what I was saying. Like, everybody did a good job with what they were given, but not everybody was given much.
Right.
And a lot of the younger cast are the ones on the receiving end of that issue.
Right. Trust me, I want to see action. I want to see them band together, use their powers. But I wanted more scenes in the mansion of them.
Yeah, I wanted to see them.
This is how you build characters.
Yeah, like I wanted to see them like actually learning how to use their powers. Like
we never see that.
Yeah, the only thing that they really showed was like
see that.
when Scott got there and he's like, I don't know how to use my powers because I just got them. Okay, well, take the bandage off and
it's my favorite tree.
That was my favorite tree. I climbed it when I was a boy.
McAvoy,
you know what? That's fine. It's okay.
McAvoy was really good in this. By the way.
He was.
And
he finally went bald.
Remember?
Although I think I don't know if this is true, so don't quote me on this. But I think that James McAvoy actually shaved his head.
He did
for the first one, and then they were like, "Oh no, we're not doing that yet." And he's like, "But I already, fuck, dude." And they just put a wig on him for the whole time.
There was one good line I liked in the movie where he went to go visit Moira, and he was like, "Do you have a husband?" And then she went, "No, good."
Because he got really tongue-tied. Like that was really funny. Yeah. Because it's genuine interaction between these two characters.
He's young. Like
he's
that's
not,
what I like about it.
He is Professor X, but he's still Charles Xavier. He's not Professor X yet.
Yeah, he's not like.
I like that. They're still learning, and he's still learning.
Well, it's like an X-Men First Class when you saw him drinking.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a young dude. He was having a drinking contest, hitting on girls, using his tricks and stuff. That was cool.
So it's cool to see things like that. Like I wanted, not saying that I don't want to see an X-Men, or not saying that I want to see an X-Men movie where there just isn't a villain, but like I want to see more of the interaction between these characters. Like there were a lot of reference to the fact that oh well, these guys are gonna get together and he's gonna come back later. Like I said, it's very meta and self-referential. Like that scene where they finally, when Jean gives Wolverine some of his memories back, and then Cyclops is like, "I hope that's the last we see of that guy." Wink to the audience.
Yeah, right. I was like, I hope it's not.
Exactly. We all know he's coming back. You didn't have to. You didn't have to tell us that. What? So it's just such that self-referential shit really.
Can I tell you something that really bothered me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Like I said last week, I think I mentioned it last week, the whole Jennifer Lawrence thing and Nicholas Hoult. I understand they're new, they're upcoming, they're really good actors. Yeah. You want to show their faces, but god damn it, man, they're totally going back on what they learned in First Class.
Exactly. Mutant and proud. Yeah, mutant and proud, but you're Jennifer Lawrence the whole time. Also, I get that it's
I'm
Jennifer
not the
Lawrence.
hero you deserve. I'm like, no, you're not.
Not at all, because you're
No.
a fucking villain.
Oh,
You're a fucking villain.
Christ.
Like, yeah, she has moments
Look,
where like
if you wanna
she
make-
questions her like decisions
Yeah.
in the comics, but she's a fucking villain.
If you want to make Mystique and the head of the X-Men, I don't care. I really don't.
Yeah,
I think that's
'cause
fine.
that-
If you want to make it your own, make it your own.
They did that
but
with
make it good.
Right, exactly. Put some genuine thought into it and like have a compelling reason. Like, I get that these movies have centered around her and she's always been reluctant to like to be the hero, but it still just didn't grab me enough. Like, I knew that the reason they were doing it is because Jennifer Lawrence is like the biggest star in Hollywood right now, female actress.
One of them, yeah.
And like you said, Nicholas Hoult is like an up and comer, so like they try and push him to the forefront and show his face as often as possible. But like, dude, how
I
old
can
is Kelsey
control
Grammer?
it.
How old is Kelsey Grammer?
Oh,
I don't
know.
honestly know, but think about this. Kelsey Grammer, well-established actor by that point, played Beast in X-Men 2 and 3.
No, just 3.
I thought he was in 2.
And this is how great the continuity is. In 2, you see a television in the background at a bar, and it says Dr. Hank McCoy, and it's just a white dude.
Oh, okay. Well, regardless of that,
He was
Kelsey
in
Grammer,
3, yeah.
well-established actor, played
Was
Beast in
was
3.
he in Days of Future Past?
Yeah, he was.
Okay, yeah.
And both times, full makeup the whole time. They never even bothered to show him as a human, except for like that one scene where he was with Bleach, and he kind of like lost.
Oh yeah, but that was okay.
Yeah,
That was fine. That was understandable, I guess, for whatever they were doing.
yeah. But what
or
I'm
whatever.
saying is, such a well-established actor endured being in the makeup and costume the entire time. Like, there's nothing wrong with like if they give such a good performance. People, like, the audience will be like, well, who was the guy who played Beast? He was so good. And they'll go and look for this actor
I have
and
a good example
see his
of it.
movies.
I have a good example of it.
Go ahead.
Going back to Mad Max Fury Road, Nicholas Hoult was in it.
Yeah.
And everybody kept going, who was that? And I was like, that was Nicholas Hoult. No.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened, because I was telling... I don't remember who... I was talking to somebody, and she was like, oh, I think it was my friend Gabby. She was like, who was that guy? And I showed her a picture of Nicholas Hoult. She's like, oh my god, he's hot. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, he's a really good looking dude. You wouldn't know that because they had the makeup and all that, but like, he gave such a good performance. And
I see that happening with Dan Stevens in Beauty and the Beast, honestly.
Oh yeah, probably.
I see that at because he's such a good actor. Sorry, not to get off track. It just reminded me of it, but the whole Jennifer Lawrence thing, man, I just didn't like the whole Mystique thing. It just felt forced. I didn't care.
Yeah.
I did not. She was like when she gave that line, "I'm not your hero." I'm like, you're goddamn right, you're not.
Exactly. Like, I don't know. Like, we're making it sound like the movie's bad. It's not. It's entertaining.
It's actually pissing me off the more I
Yeah,
think about
like
it.
it's kind of becoming like a Dark Knight Rises situation where it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it was good when you saw it, but then you're like, but wait, this wasn't that great.
Yeah.
And that wasn't that great. Ah,
It had
shit,
its
is this movie
moments.
bad?
It had its moments. So, Apocalypse, one of the things that really
What do you think his plan was? Do you think it had anything to do with tearing down something and like from some kind of was it ashes, I think? How many fucking times did he say that? Jesus. Dude, actually, hang on.
build a better one.
Everything they built will fall. Granted, good performance, but
I did laugh at when
Shit.
he would have conversations. He would start off like this and then end a sentence like this. I did like that.
yeah, it was kind of cool.
Actually,
the
like
vocal
I
effect was
liked
cool.
it. I liked it because I laughed. I
Yeah.
didn't think it was amazing, but I just laughed at that. How about when he had the hoodie on and he was walking through Egypt and he had like there was just a blue dude walking around
Yeah.
and nobody's looking at him like what the.
Like the Ninja Turtles walking around in New York in trench coats and a fucking fedora, and people were like, ah! But this guy walking around in just like a hood, nobody even, no, it's fine, it's good.
Oh my god.
You
But,
know what else I really didn't like about
the TV
Apocalypse?
touching?
What are you doing?
Dude, when he put his hand on the TV, I looked at my buddy Phil, and I was like, input! That was some short circuit if you didn't get it.
Need more input.
Oh my god, I think that's such a cheap-ass way.
I mean, they did it in Transformers, they did it in Short Circuit.
Ultron
did the same thing. Like, I understand that, like, because these characters come from such a different time, for them to be caught up to, you know, everything going on nowadays. I get it, but, like, there's gotta be another way.
Dude, when he put his hand on the TV, I was just like,
Why couldn't they just be like, he absorbs all of these mutants' powers over the years. Why couldn't one of the powers be the power of fucking translation?
He learned like Lilu.
Yeah. Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Yeah, exactly. Just like that.
But, like,
I'm surprised he didn't cry when he found out what
war was.
What war was. Well, I'm pretty sure he knows what war was, but still.
Yeah. No, dude, okay. So, like I said, I love Michael Fassbender, and I think he's been consistently probably the best part of this entire franchise.
Yep.
But I really hate this flip-floppy attitude that they have, like, in regards to him. Like, in the beginning of the movie, he's like, bad guy, and then they talk to him, and it's like, oh, well, yeah, I do have some good qualities, but I'm still gonna be the bad guy, and then at the end, he saves them, and it's like, for fuck's sake.
Remember when he was, like, fucking everything up with Apocalypse? Mm-hmm. And then later on, Charles saw me and went, hey! Eric!
Hey!
He was like, sorry about the whole lifting all the metal out of the earth, and...
Yeah, like, I just thought it was a little cheesy when he's like, when Apocalypse is like, you're betraying me. No, I betrayed them.
Like, I forgot about that. And he's standing in front of the green screen.
Yeah.
For like 20 minutes. I'm like, what is going on?
You know what I didn't get?
I was like, I'm going to be honest. I checked my phone during the fight scenes. During that last fight scene. It dragged on, man.
Yeah, you know what I didn't get? Why were they like cock teasing Magneto with the whole Quicksilver being his son?
That could have been a great ending.
Exactly, like
that could have been a great ending.
Like, instead of because he was like, and you, what are you fighting for? I'm fighting for my family as well. He could have been like, dude, I came here because you're my father and I wanted to know you, and this is the man you've become. How am I supposed to look up to you? This is the example you're setting for me. Like, that could have been such an emotional moment, and like that could have been the turning point for Magneto. But the whole thing was just because
I always like that Magneto. Like, he's one of the greatest comic book villains.
Yeah.
Because you understand why he's doing what he's doing.
Exactly. He's a man whose entire culture has gone through oppression. You know, they've been killed off. Mm-hmm. You know, like, they've been through so much, and he has a distrust of the world because he knows that inherently people fear what they don't understand.
Yeah. He is the example everybody uses. He was modeled after Malcolm X.
Yeah.
That was really, really interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was the whole basis behind Xavier and Magneto.
Professor was Martin Luther King.
Right.
Yeah.
It's, like I said, fundamental differences.
Mm-hmm.
We need to see that, and that is one of the good things that they do with these movies. Is, you know, they show the relationship between Charles and Magneto, which is great. I want more of that, please.
What I want out of another X-Men movie is I want to see the young X-Men team up. I want to see them hang out. I want to see who they are as people. You got a great cast. Bryan Singer says that he might not come back.
But then again, he might.
Who knows? You know. But you know what? This is his fourth one?
Yeah, because he did 1 and 2, and then Days of Future Past and this one.
1 is great. 2 is excellent.
Yep.
Days of Future Past is my favorite. This one was just okay. Maybe it was just like there was like, I'm not gonna get too into it, but there was a little problem with the production in the beginning.
Yeah.
Due to like personal stuff, but maybe that's what caused it. Who knows? But otherwise, it was okay. It wasn't like the worst thing ever. It's not like Origins. It's just it could have been better.
It had a lot of potential.
Exactly, and it's. Will I buy it on Blu-ray to complete my X-Men collection? Yeah.
Yeah, I can see.
I'll pick it up.
When I finally start buying Blu-rays again, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'll definitely pick it up.
So I can say that I recommend this movie, but you just have to be able to separate your, I guess, critical side.
Right.
To try and enjoy the movie.
This is all my critical side talking, by the way. I was entertained by it. It was, the best way to put it is schlock. It was just, it was junk food for the mind, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.